Yo, welcome back to the Crash Out League TV. It is your host A Dub, and I'm with my co-host Manny Boy, Manny Boy, Manny Boy. And y'all know what this means if you see us again. It's week one NFL football,
We're back,
baby.
baby. We are
Come
back.
on, man.
We are so back.
We just had the draft happen this past weekend.
Yep,
Don't
yep.
worry about it. We gonna show you the results and how that came about, so you
All
can
of it.
see everybody's different team. But man, we
Yeah,
first just want to thank y'all for tuning into the episode, man. Ben, you got anything you want
absolutely.
to say to the people?
Man, appreciate y'all. I'm so happy football is back, man. Especially, in the state of Texas. You got high school football rocking and rolling, college
Mm-hmm.
football rocking and rolling, and just the
Mm-hmm.
cherry on top is the pros. So, man, this feels like home again, man. Football's back. I now know what I'm gonna do with my weekends. So I was lost for a little while there, man, but it's a good time nonetheless. So we're excited. We're gonna have a great, great show for you guys. So please make sure you stick through all the way through this one.
Sure, yes, sir. Let's go ahead and jump right into it then. Let's
Absolutely.
not let's not waste no time. And just like I told y'all, we're gonna show y'all the results of the draft, So let's go ahead and pull that up right now.
Put them out there for everybody to see.
So as you guys can see, this is pick one all the way to pick 10. From first round all the way to the 14th round, kind of, in a way. But this is the draft result of the 2025 Crash Out League draft. Man, where do we even start at this point? I mean, it's so much to
Yeah,
really even dive into. I
right.
mean, let's go by team by team and give our grades of what we think each team deserve. I'm talking about from S to A to B to C to D. And if you think somebody
Okay,
qualified
I
for
like
an
it.
F, go ahead and give them that as well.
They got to take the F. Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's start off with Coach Mike's team. Team GBK. First round went Jamar Chase. First round, first pick. You pretty much
I mean,
can't
he's
go
one to
wrong
one.
with it.
Consensus
One
one
on
to
one.
one. Yep.
So Jamar Chase, Ashley Genty, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, James Conner, Tony Pollard, Sam Laporta, Patrick Mahomes, Jerry Judy, Jay Warren, Ravens defense, Jake Elliott, Juwan Jennings, and Jonnu Smith. Manny, what are your thoughts, man? What grade are we giving Coach Mike with his draft
I like
picks?
this. I mean, for me personally, I do like this draft. I think the only thing right now, if anything, were to stand out to me, and really, to me, that's just kind of how the league looks in itself, is running back talent drops real fast. And
Fast.
so the only thing that I would say, man, if he was able to snag one more superstar, it would be in that running back room. Unfortunately, Pollard out in Tennessee, that's a tough look. And you're hoping Arizona's offense is going to be revamped and really just produce more with the fact that you've got Murray and one of the other, well, you could say soon to be top wide receivers in the league in Harrison Jr. and in their second year connection. So I like this draft. I think he had a very solid draft. Again, that number one pick's got to be a top dog. And he went out and he made sure that he got that top dog. So for me, I got to give this one a B plus to an A, Dub.
Okay, okay, I like that. Me personally, I agree with you. The one of one, there's typically nowhere else to go after the performance Jamar Chase just put on last season.
Right.
But I'm the
Absolutely.
type of person that's heavily graded on your one and your two, based off your
Okay.
positioning here on the board. Now we know with the number one pick, the only downfall about it, you gotta wait for it to come all the way back to you.
Right.
I'm talking about
Yep.
19 picks later. There's a lot of great names getting picked off the board 19
Absolutely.
picks later. So you gotta do the best that you can do. And I'm not too mad at him picking up Ashton Genty in the second round, coming back around with the last pick of the second round. I mean, there's a lot of high hopes for Genty. He's going to be the premier back for the Raiders, a workhorse. We saw what he did with Boise State. and we hope that he'll be able to carry that type of momentum into the NFL. Now, being with the Raiders, that give him the upside to be able to do that. So I think that with the 1 and 2 pick that he went with, I give this grade a B+.
Okay.
I really like
Yeah.
Jamar Chase. I'm just a little too skeptical about Ashton Jeanty, me personally.
Yeah. No, I definitely I respect that. And going next in the pick in 2 slot is Coach Cam. Right now, Coach Cam, he decided to go running back first. In fact, he went running back first and second. Now, in this PPR league, that might find him a little bit of trouble. He got himself a dog, don't get me wrong, in Bijan Robinson. And then Bucky Irving coming back on the other side. But again, you look at the names that were taken off the board that are in that light blue color. There's a lot of wide receivers being taken off the board, but there's a few more that you felt like you could have maybe snagged yourself to really have a more well-rounded wide receiver room. So for me, I know he has himself good running backs, but to me, his wide receiver room leaves a little bit to be desired. For me, I got to give this one a B-.
Okay, I like that tape. I mean, I'm gonna agree with you once again. He went heavy with his first 2 picks, straight running back room. Let's get that done and out the way. And again, Bijan Robinson, a top running back in fantasy, can't go wrong with that. Bucky Irvin coming up out of his shell last season, proving that he should be the dominant back for the Bucks, and putting on a show last year, deserving that he should be picked in the first 2 rounds. So I'm not mad at that either, But me personally, just like you said, in a PPR league, receivers are important when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to winning in PPR leagues most of the time. But you also got backs who come out the backfield and they receive the ball a lot as well. So I think it's a good conversation between the two because he has Bijan Robinson and Bucky Irvin. It's just that with his wide receiver room, they haven't too much proven themselves yet. With JSN, this is first time being wide receiver 1 in the league. We don't know what that looks like. Terry
Right.
McLaurin, he went nuclear last season, so we know what he can do. But
Right.
then you follow up with Calvin Ridley, who just got a rookie quarterback, and we haven't seen a Calvin Ridley being Calvin Ridley since Alabama.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's just a whole lot of uncertainty there. But I like the conversation of the rest. So I'm gonna give this a C+.
Okay. C+ to a B-. I mean, so far you and I are right there with each other. And that of course
Hmm.
brings us to pick number 3. That's Team Fabo. Now, for some of our league mates, they had Jahmyr Gibbs falling lower in the first
Hmm.
round. Some were speaking from the 7 to the 9 spot was where he was going to go. Coach Fabian went out and got his guy. And honestly, I can't hate that, right? I mean, you went out and you got your guy, and that's the most important thing. And of course, looking down the rest of the way, to me, there's a few that are kind of Buster Boom guys, right? One is going to be Cooper Kupp. He's in Seattle. Can he still be that guy? Is it going to be great value at the place that he took him at, right? You have Deebo Samuel, who's in a new offense with Washington. How is he going to fare in that? Was it really just the scheme of Kyle Shanahan at San Francisco being able to draw up the plays that got him there? Was it the fact that they had basically the Avengers on their team,
Hmm.
top wide receivers and a top running back in your backfield that made him so open and was that dominant player? And then, of course, you want to see somebody like Marvin Harrison Jr. How is he going to perform now in year 2? So for me, there's a lot of we're going to put our faith in this guy and not so much of taking that solid road. But again, if you can put up points, it doesn't really matter. And so if you continue to have guys that are booming and maybe, every now and then they'll have a bust week, but they can continue to boom, I think this is going to be a fantastic draft for him in the long run. Now, the only thing that worries me is that pick in the second round of Puka Nacua, just for the fact that we don't know the truth about the back injury to his quarterback, Matthew Stafford. That's the only thing that I think made the other teammates in the league maybe back off a little bit and say, I'm not sure, because that's one of the main positions. That's the only position that you are so dependent on somebody else getting you the ball, and that's a quarterback. So I think for me, I do like it. I got to go in that range of a B plus to a flat A.
Okay. I thought you was gonna give it based off what you were saying. Me personally, I'm down straight into it. I can't ignore it. This affects my grade totally. I want to go all the way down here to the 14th round when he decided to go and get the Bengals for his starting defensive lineup. Where we all know the Bengals are a liability. It'd be different. For some reason, he decided to draft a defense as a backup defense for somebody, but he did it. This is who he decided to go with to start film week in and week out that we see so far. So that definitely affects everything for me. When it comes to his regular lineup, the only key spots that I only think is solidified right now that we know that they gonna go to work is Jameer Gibbs and Jaden Daniels. Because like you said, Puka Nacua, we don't know what's going on with Matthew Stafford.
Right.
Walker get hurt like it's his job. Marvin Harrison Jr., he had a pretty decent rookie year, but where he go through the sophomore slump?
Right.
Rasheed Rice, do I even need to bring up the man himself that committed so many felonies that would have locked anybody else up? By the way, I just want to put that out there.
Throw him
Just would have
under the
locked up
jail. Yeah.
anybody else, but he got a 6-game suspension, and that could be significant in the crash out league, depending on how many
Yeah.
games that he
Yeah.
lose without him. You know, and with just that being all that uncertainty with the rest of the team, depending on Kyle Pitts and Jay Ferguson, just tight end, I, I just don't know. Me personally, I'm gonna give this lineup a C minus. Now, is there a crazy upside? Yes. Do I
Right.
see it?
Right.
Yes. But it's way too many factors in the lineup to depend upon for this to work. It'd be different if we was waiting on the upside of 2 players, but we waiting on the upside to 5 to 6 different
Right.
positions.
Pretty much whole
Hell no
roster.
matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just too uncertainty for me. So just give me a C minus.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you and I are kind of seeing it on both ends, right? If these guys go crazy, man, he's got himself a really nice team. But if they don't and they fall flat, you're gonna have yourself a pretty difficult go. And yeah, that I think that Rasheed Rice is probably one of the bigger blinking lights on this team about how is this gonna go, either boom or bust, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, that takes us to our one-time champ, and that is Coach Barlow. And he had himself a pretty nice draft.
Got a
He
pretty nice
started off
draft.
hot, got himself the second wide receiver taken off the board, and that's CeeDee Lamb.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he backdoored that with Josh Jacobs and Achane. And now, to be honest with you, I like this draft. I do like it quite a lot. I think the only thing, if anything, that I would have to say maybe, puts me a little bit off towards this is the tight end room, if anything. But one thing that we know about the NFL right now, there's not like a super high echelon of really good tight ends. There's only a few. And then after that, you're kind of struggling to get some real productivity out of that room. So nonetheless, I think with what he had available to him, it went pretty well. I like this a lot. We got to see how Josh Jacobs develops, right, in Green Bay, and if he can really start getting this thing going. But nonetheless, I got to give this one on that A tier.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback off you. I'm gonna give it an A as well. I love the combo that he did with his first fall. I'm talking one of the best receivers in the league with CeeDee
Facts.
Lamb, and back
Real and
giving
true.
you a top 5 back in Josh Jacobs, who's in year 2 of his new team. What was that?
No. I had a creak in
Oh,
my neck. My neck hurts.
oh, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna say it again. A top five back in the league, Josh Jacobs, going into year two with his team. Okay. We got Devon Achum, like I was saying in the previous show, is a leading fantasy back throughout the weeks that he was not injured, and he was able to get
Right.
him in the third round. That's a hell of a pickup for him. Then you got Jalen Hurts, Mr. Steal touchdowns for my whole team at any chance that I can get if I'm 5 yards out from the goal line.
Just
So
push that thing. Yep.
I think he did great getting four elite guys in 4 rounds. That's hard to do.
Yeah,
That's hard to
absolutely.
do.
Absolutely.
So they're able to coordinate that and get four elite guys in 4 straight rounds. I think that was big for him. And then he got some key guys to fill the holes, like Isaiah Pacheco, do for substitution. Travis Hunter. Garrett Wilson. I mean, it's just a lot of plug and play guys that's gonna get you
Right.
what you need.
Right.
So I'm also give this team an A as well.
Okay. Okay. Now we move over to the middle of the order,
Mhm.
and we have ourselves A-Dub the plug here with his draft. Now we start off with Saquon Barkley. Now, Saquon Barkley, if he can recreate what he did last year, I mean, look out,
Mhm.
especially for the NFC East, and not even that, the entire NFC, because you've got
Yeah.
yourself Jalen Hurts and Barkley in that backfield. That's going to be dangerous. However, we got Josh Allen in that second round. Now, some may say, you kind of got you saw Lamar Jackson get taken. You said, "Man, I gotta go get my guy." But again, I don't hate somebody going to get their guy because hey,
Mhm.
he's one of the top quarterbacks in this league, if not the top quarterback in this league. And then you followed up with Mike Evans, Mr. 1,000 yards per season, and George Kittle, who's should be is the biggest kind of factor on that sentence. Should be a major factor in the 49ers offense now losing a few pieces and still having that Brock Purdy connection. So, hey Dub, I want to ask you, man, what grade are you giving this draft?
I mean, me personally, when I'm looking at this lineup, he got key guys. Once again, just like Coach Barlow did. I mean, he probably got some of the best at each position minus wide receiver when it comes to the running back with Saquon Barkley, Josh Allen at quarterback, and George Kittle at tight end. So I think he tried to possibly mimic what was going on with the picks before him to try to do the best that he could to stay right there in the middle because it's hard to draft right there in the middle. But me
Absolutely.
personally, I'm gonna give this grade here a solid B. I think he has an average lineup. His top side of this draft is heavy. Don't get me wrong. But when you look at the rest of it and you look at the key position of wide receiver in PPR leagues, his starters could be Mike Evans, George Pickens, and Stephon Diggs. Mike Evans, that's a big upside. Chris Godwin is out right now, so it could be big for him. George Pickens is a wide receiver too. He has a lot of upside, but at the end of the day, he's a wide
Right.
receiver two on his team.
Right.
And then Stephon Diggs getting up there in age and just came off ACL tear. So we're not sure how that's gonna go, especially since he with a new team up there in New England. So it's a lot
Right.
of
Right.
uncertainty in his wide receiver room, which is heavy in the PPR league. So it evens out what he did heavy in the first 3 rounds. So I give this a B.
I got you. Yeah, I think again, like you talked about, top heavy pretty well. Bottom side, we're falling out a little bit. I'll go ahead and give this one a B as well. Absolutely.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to Coach Luck with Team Luck. He decided to go Jay Jettas and Lamar Jackson at his first two picks. I see SNS, when
Yeah.
it comes to the first two picks. You know what I mean? So I really like those two picks, and then he was able to get him Kyle Williams in the third, and then he got Lamb Kunke in the second. And the surprising thing in his draft, he went R.J. Hurt, a rookie running back, as
Yeah.
his fourth round pick, which was just announced. I don't know if he was, tuned in to the reports, but it has been
Right.
officially announced that he's the RB2 of the Broncos, not RB1. So that's a little shaky for me when it
Yeah.
comes to drafting him early like that in the fourth round. But nonetheless, I mean, the rest of his draft was pretty decent. So I'm gonna give Coach Luck a B minus.
Yeah. Yeah. I see you there. Like you talk about, you start off with two S tier players, but again, talent in this draft just to me feels like it has such a drastic kind of drop, from one side, from that A tier, going down. And so I think one of the difficult things is, unfortunately, it feels like with this team, those first two picks are going to have to carry week in and week out.
Hmm.
There's going to be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. 1 and 2 got to carry week in and week out, and you hope your supporting cast can play their role. So, so for me, I think I got to give this one a flat B. It's not a home run hitter to me. I think we've seen with Coach Barlow having an A, and I can't put that right in that A tier, especially with that what now seems to be a reach with RJ Harvey and him being RB2. I think he was hoping maybe it's going to pay off and I can get great value for a starting running back in the fourth. Fortunately, not going to happen for him this time. So I think I'm going to have to go with a flat B for this one, and so that's middle order. Now we're starting to get towards the later bit, and of course we have Coach Preach, our reigning defending champion, and I think he had himself a draft. Some may say not as fantastic as he was hoping. I do think, in a lot of the rounds that he wanted, certain guys, they were getting sniped before him. And so you got adversity. You got to face it. You got to figure it out. But for me, I do like the pick of Derrick Henry in the first. Let's be completely honest. He probably wasn't getting back around to him. And so again, it was just another case of got to go get your guy, right? We'll see if Drake London pans out to be. I'm hearing reports that the right tackle for the Falcons has gone down with a season-ending injury. Now, some of y'all might not think right tackle is all that important until you realize that Michael Penix is a left-handed quarterback, and that becomes just as important as what a typical left tackle would be. So we'll see if those reports are true. Again, not fully confirmed quite yet, but we'll see if that is the case. If that is the case, I think that affects London's stock significantly. But of course, we'll see what Higgins and McMillan can do kind of on that back end. I will also say, for me, unfortunately, I think his wide receiver room has a lot to be desired. Or, sorry, his quarterback room has a lot to be desired. Jared Goff surely does have a lot of really great weapons to utilize. But then, of course, we look down at Drake May, and this might be a type of team where Jared Goff plays every single week except for when he's on his bye. So I think with all those factors, being said, I really feel like I got to be on that. I would say maybe the C plus to B minus tier.
Okay. When it comes to Coach Preach's team, I think he did the complete opposite of what he usually does. He's a real heavy wide receiver coach, but I think he relied upon getting guys in the run game that really has the talent to catch the ball out of the backfield. So he went and got his guy that he had last year, Derrick Henry, in the first round, and was able to get him back on the team and sign him again. But then, if you notice in the third and the fourth, instead of going receiver how he usually does, he went to go get him a dominant back that also receives the ball well, Chase Brown, who came into himself
Right.
last season. And then he backdoor went and got the rookie phenom from this preseason that everybody's high on, Trey Henderson. So
Right.
I think what Coach Preach is trying to look at is a different style. Even though the style that he went with last year won him the whole thing, so I'm not sure why he's going away from it. But we'll see how that goes with going heavy with running backs and then giving you some decent upside with wide receiver potentials. Because don't get me wrong, T. Higgins is a dog. Drake London is a dog. So those guys can get you the points like a wide receiver can at any given moment if you give them the opportunity to. So
Right.
I'm not too mad about this draft right here. So I'll give it a B plus.
Absolutely.
Now,
Now we move over to Coach Dono. Dono, a returner to this league. He wants the competition. He's ready to go after the big prize. And AW, your initial thoughts on this draft?
um, 1 and 2 with the draft position that he's at, I don't think it gets no better. Nico Collins in the first round, and then Brian Thomas back door in the second round. Hey, call me what you want, but in a PPR league to go receiver like that, that's how you do it. That is how you do it. If you say I'm gonna be a wide receiver coach and I'm gonna go get my guys that's gonna be PPR heavy on their team, that
Right.
is how you do it. You go get
Right.
Nico Collins and Brian Thomas at that draft position that you at. But then you back door and go get Jonathan Taylor. Now, I know a lot of people probably off Jonathan Taylor, but don't forget, the man ran for 2,000 yards at one point. And he's a receiving back coming out of the backfield. There is no 1A, 1B with the Colts. It's Jonathan Taylor.
Right.
So you a healthy Jonathan Taylor that's not fighting with contract issues that's gonna be there as long as he can be there.
He's
We
dangerous.
in for a
That's
hell of a
dangerous.
season. So
Yeah.
to get your guys at 1 and 2 and still able to get a guy like Jonathan Taylor and then back door get, if not the best, the top 2 tight end in the league right now, Trey McBride. Yeah. As you can tell, I'm loving what Coach did. He's coming back, he's making a statement, he's putting his foot down. So I love it. But the rest of the draft, it was just plug and hold type of guys. I really love the Cortland Sutton pick. I really love the Matthew Golden pick. And I really like the Dak Prescott pick. A lot of people might shun me for that, but I told you in the last episode, Dak Prescott can finish as QB1 at the end of the season if he just do what he have
Absolutely.
to do with the weapons that's around him. So I'm not mad, especially for where he got him at. So I'm going to
Right.
give Coach Dono A- with his draft.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you talk about those first, 4 picks, but man, to then get Brees Hall, who will be a premier back for the Giants. Now, how good the Giants are going to be is certainly a question. But of course, then Sutton and Golden and Dak to follow that up. And yeah, just kind of plug and play guys for the rest of his team. I do like this a lot. I think he really had himself a fantastic draft. If I have to give this a grade, which I surely do, I would have to give this one on that A minus to a flat A kind of tier, man. I think from the spot that he's in, I truly do think he did just the best that he possibly could. Absolutely.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on to 2 inches too big with Coach Manny. I mean, I'll go ahead and kick us off right with this one when Amari St. Brown, but then back door put his foot down and said, I'm taking CMC in the second. This is great value to get a CMC pick. Do y'all not remember who CMC is? That's the kind of impression that I get from Coach Manny when he made
Yeah.
that pick. He put his
Yeah.
foot down. He said, "Y'all not gonna believe in him, but I am." So to get him as your number 2, the upside can be crazy. Yes, the age is a factor because of the injury that he could potentially get, but CMC baby, the upside is spectacular. Yeah,
Right.
that's a top 3, if not the pick. Healthy CMC getting in the second round. So I'm not mad at that at all. Didn't get James Cook, who just signed a big deal, with the Buffalo Bills. I think that was huge for him getting the third. Tyreek Hill to get that upside in the fourth. I'm just amazed by the upside that's getting picked on his back end by Coach Mann. So me personally, I'm gonna give him a B plus, just because yes, there is crazy upsides from the spots that he was able to get certain guys, but the floor is not that low, people. It's not that low neither. His floor is some of y'all good weeks. So I'm gonna give Coach Manny a B plus.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, the only thing that I would have to really say that goes against Coach Manny and 2 inches too big is that tight end room. To me, the rumors surrounding Travis Kelce right now is that he may be eyeing retirement at the end of this season with his engagement. I think this goes one of two ways. I think either Travis Kelce becomes a Travis Kelce of old, and we see the Chiefs fighting for a Super Bowl spot, if not in the Super Bowl, or unfortunately, Travis Kelce completely bombs in his final season and rides off into the sunset nonetheless. So that being your tight end one on the season, to me, is too much of a risk to have that. I was told from Coach Manny and 2 inches too big that they were initially eyeing Brock Bowers to be put onto the team. Unfortunately, he was taken with the pick right before him,
Mhm.
but he had to make do with what he's got. Christian McCaffrey also is going to be a question mark. We will see what he's going to be like when he's able to kind of hit the gas full go. So I think there is certainly a lot of booming that can happen. But like you said, even on a regular week, is not a bad week whatsoever. So I like the B plus. The only reason I'm not going to give it an A, unfortunately, he was not able to snag Brandon Aubrey from the draft. So that's a big hit to kind of the identity of 2 inches too big. They've been typically cowboy heavy, but I got to give credit to Coach Manny and 2 inches too big. He said, "Man, you know what? I'm not going to be a cowboy lover. I'm not going to be that guy that's drafting from one team only when he's typically had four or five guys on his starting lineup from the Cowboys. So good on him. I like the B plus pick, and of course that ends up taking us to our final slot in the draft. This is a rookie, a dub, a
Wait,
rookie.
the
What do you
real.
think about the rookie and his first draft here in the Crash Out League?
I mean, what more can you do with the number 10 spot? You can do your best in the draft. But I think he did good in his first two rounds. Malik Neighbors, Brock Bowers. Hey, I'm not mad at you. I'm not gonna tell you did anything wrong with those last two picks. But this is where we get skeptical. Let's break this down right here. You go Alvin Kamara, who's not bad because he's the only player the Saints have. Let's be
Right.
honest. Let's
Right.
be honest here.
Yeah.
So the upside is crazy to have him on your team. But to go, for me personally, the rookie Amarion Hampton, when we don't know what's going on with Najee Harris and how they feel about him, which, by the way, we just heard that he may be playing in week one, and Harbaugh is a little skeptical about his snap count, but nonetheless, Harbaugh wants to get him in the game. I don't know if that says something to you, man, but that says a lot to me.
Yeah.
So to be able to get him in the fourth round, I wasn't too hot about that. And then to wait all the way to what, the sixth round? Yeah, sixth round to get your next wide receiver. Now you depend on DK Metcalf, the fridge, um, Jameson Williams, wide receiver two, that's heavy on deep balls, and Jalen Waddle, who plays with a quarterback that don't know how to wake up when it's time to wake up. That's neither here or there though. But I'm just a little skeptical about it. Like I said, about other teams, he has players that has upside, and if the upside works, that's good for him. But we talk about 17 weeks of football potentially that we're trying to play. I don't see the
Right.
consistency for 17 weeks with this team. So give me this team with a grade of a C for me personally.
Yeah, I get you. I think for me, I think this is one of those times where you realize, man, all 9 other competitors have done their research. They've been in the lab, they've mock drafted, they have understood and are able to think on their feet when adversity strikes. A couple times, Coach Deshaun, the rook, he had himself sniped on a pick. It wasn't there for him. And when you have just a couple minutes to flip your entire draft, that can be quite difficult. But he did some sniping of his own, so you can't hate him for it. This the
Hmm.
dog eat dog world, and that's the way that this goes in this league. So, nonetheless, I do think I foresee, possibly a couple trades coming in from the Rook as we get later on in the season. He certainly has some pieces to move around. The Jalen Waddle pick for me is quite exciting because if we do live in a future or in a world that possibly Tua can't go or is not necessarily putting up the production that they hope, Quinn Ewers is sitting right behind him. And I do think Quinn Ewers, healthy, hungry, might be ready to go get that thing. And if he's got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on the outside, I mean, you can't really ask for two better wide receivers for a rookie quarterback to just kind of throw one of those go get it balls and they just run under it.
Yeah.
So I do think I like those picks a lot. I'm gonna have to go with a flat B for me for the Rook. Again, he had himself sniped. He had to flip his draft board, but I do think that he did a fantastic job dealing with the adversity and then not only doing that but persevering through it. So once again, congratulations to all 10 teams in this league. You have now completed your draft, and it's game time, baby. It is game time. First
Yeah.
game of the season comes tomorrow, and I know plenty of people will be checking into that one, myself included, of course. But nonetheless, we're go, baby. We are all systems go, pedal to the metal. So we are excited for this season. And to be honest with you, if I'd have to think of an early season sleeper, somebody who I think could develop pretty well as we get, or for me, it's going to be a team that I think right now we might be a little sleeping on, but could turn into a monster. Is Team Fabo, because again, we talk about his boomer bust guys has a lot of upside to it. If they turn into those monsters, man, this is going to be a very, very, very difficult week for each and every one of the other members of this league.
I'm gonna go a different route when it comes to my sleeper here in this league. I'm gonna go with Coach Cam. I think, like I was saying, he has a lot of guys that have a lot of upside. We just don't know what it looks like right now. But if it is for what we
Right.
are predicting with JSN being wide receiver one coming into himself, Terry McLaurin still doing what he did coming off last season, TJ Hawkinson coming back with a fully healthy season under his belt, and then Bo Nix coming into his second season. I've had a wonderful rookie season, Calvin Ridley being Calvin Ridley again if he gets him a quarterback at Count Ward. I mean, there's a lot of upside. So if the upside comes in swinging, the rest of the league better get the ducking because Cam
Yeah.
coming in high. So I'm gonna go with Coach Cam as my sleeper pick for this league. But like Manny was saying, we are mad excited for what's coming into the league this year. And speaking of what's coming into the league, let's go ahead and look at these games that we got lined.
Sure to be some good ones, man. Of course, some of the few that you got to look at that you cannot take your eye off of. You see that we got them pulled up right here. I think for me, it's got to be Coach Manny and Coach Dono. They are pretty much tied in projected points, 124.69, 124.79. A slight edge to Coach Dono. They have both themselves some dogs on their team. So we will surely have to see. I think one of the biggest things for me is how does Dak Prescott play against the Eagles on opening night in Philadelphia when they need you most? How does 4 answer? And do we see it fireworks start from the jump? And he's throwing goal balls to Pickens and slants that go for 70 yards to CD? Or is it going to be a struggle because, unfortunately, the run game for the Cowboys has a little bit left to be desired? So I think for me, the biggest thing that might separate these two is how Dak Prescott plays.
I mean, Dak Prescott is 4-1 against the Eagles since 2021. I just want to put that out there. I mean, Dak
True.
Prescott has a
Yeah.
127 QPR rating QBR rating since 2021 against the Philadelphia Eagles. I just want to put that out there. Do not let last season fool y'all. All right? Do not let it fool y'all. Yes, the Eagles defense is great. Yes, the Eagles team is great. But a healthy Dak with a healthy CD and now a
Scary.
healthy George Pickens. Whoo,
Scary.
whoo. Y'all think y'all called Dak a statistical quarterback back then. Whoo. This year might be even crazier. But I
Yeah,
like
what do
that.
you
I
got?
like that take right there.
What
I
do you
like
got for your
that
game
take.
of the week?
For my game of the week, me personally, I think I'm gonna go a different route.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and go with Coach Cam with Team Get Back versus Coach Barlow,
Okay.
formerly known as Mills Mafia. Now at the moment, Cedarion DeLeon Lamb. This is my game of the week right here. Pretty
Okay.
even, 51 to 49% spread right here between the two. But look at this lineup. Look at this lineup.
Yeah.
When I say at any given moment, any of these guys could pop. I
Right.
mean, any of these guys could pop. It's the type of game you just gotta sit back as a coach and just watch your players perform. There's no did
Yeah.
I plug the right guy in or did I not? Everybody can go. So it's just the fact that whether they gonna show up or not. So
Right.
give me
Right.
this week game of the week being Coach Cam versus Coach Barlow this week.
We have some fantastic game for you guys. So again, you got to keep tuning in every week to figure out what happens in this league because we've got hitter and banger after banger after banger in this one. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for that one, man. Should be a great time. Absolutely.
Definitely should. Definitely should. I mean, we got veteran coaches going at any time, and then people with chip on their shoulders. It really don't get no better than that. But we're gonna go into our next segment here for you guys. Real excited about it because this is where we're gonna show you two new things that we're bringing to the show. One of them is gonna be something weekly, and another one is gonna be something that comes every now and then throughout the year. But we're excited for both. So we're first gonna start you guys off with showing you what's gonna be included in the shows week.
This is straight from Commish. Straight from Commish.
Straight from the commission. And that is the bounty board. Now,
Ooh.
I don't know what you heard or what you think when you think of the bounty board, but me personally, anything with the word bounty in it, I'm sitting up in my chair and I'm listening. Ears perked. Cause I'm talking about who we getting, who we offering. Now that's what the type of energy the commission wants to come with. Now, when it comes to the bounty board, anybody in the league is up for grabs. I'm talking about week in and week out. Any of these teams can be on the board for that week. Now,
Right.
when it comes to the bounty board, it's all about what you did that week, where you are positioned in the league, what decision that you made throughout the week in order to earn the spot of being on the bounty board. That means anybody and everybody is gunning for you,
Mhm.
depending on who you playing that week. Now, when it comes to that, it's time to show y'all who has the bounty starting in week one.
Who's got the
Manny,
target on their back?
do you have any guesses who's behind this curtain for the
Who
first bounty on the
who could
season?
who could we stick with the crosshairs on their back? It's got to be the reigning champ. It's got to be Coach Preach because everybody is coming for that championship this season. But
Okay,
show me who we
here we
got behind
go.
the curtain.
Here we go. Here we go. Let's see who on this most wanted, dead or alive.
Ooh,
And that organization will be Coach Preach from Mo
Rose
City
City Menace.
Menace.
Yep.
Coach, you well deserved. You won the championship last season. We couldn't go no other way. There's no other way to go about it. Who earned the first week here in the Crash Out League? So that means the organization who is up to try to get this bounty It's Smooth Criminal because he's the first one to get a crack at him.
First crack.
So the only way for the bounty to be released from an organization is for them to lose. Now,
Mm.
that doesn't mean if the team that beat that organization now they're the most wanted. Then it'll be back up in the air for the commission to decide based off the previous qualifications, like I said, which was what you did that week, what decisions you
Right.
made, win or losses, and your positioning in the league. But for right now, in week one, Coach Preach is carrying that bounty. Now the question is, can he and will he be able to keep up week in and week out and keep that bounty on his head? Now,
Coach Preach, a message to you, sir. Your name just hit the board. Good luck dodging those crosshairs because they're coming for you. And Smooth Criminal's the first one to do it.
and let's see what he can do. Fun fact, Manny, Smooth Criminal and Mo City Minutes have met in the first game of the season 3 years in a row.
Wow.
You want to take a crack? You want to take a crack at it? What that record is like between those two organizations?
Oh, two fantastic organizations, man. Let's call it a 2-1 to the side of Smooth Criminal.
That's a hell of a guess, Manny. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let me give you that updated record though. 3-0, Smooth Criminal. Hey, hey, I'm just calling a spade. But Smooth Criminal has always opened up the season with a win against Coach Preach. So hey, he might not be hanging on that for too much longer, but
Wow.
nonetheless, he has it at the moment. Now,
we'll see what
next
the bounty board looks like next week.
The next thing that we're gonna introduce to you guys is the Crash Out League market. Now, if you ever heard the stock market or anything like that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, when it comes to this, us as the people on the show, me and Manny, the host of the show, we're going to be grading you guys throughout the week based off everything that's going on in the league, the trades, the waiver wires pickup, injuries, wins or losses, how significant was your win, how significant was your loss, how does it affect playoffs, and stuff like that. And we're going to be throwing numbers at each other until we can figure out a common number or an average between number for you guys week in and week out. Now, this is something that we won't be coming to you guys every week about, but it'll be here throughout the season. Right now, you know what I mean, this is what everything looks out just because of we haven't started yet. But once the week start going on, me and Manny, we're gonna be talking throughout the week and we're gonna be deciding how you guys stock market, your value of your organization. Listen to what I'm telling you. The value of your organization. That means everything matters. The way you speak, the way you walk, the way you shit. I don't give a damn what it is. You know what I mean? Everything that you do is being evaluated, and your stock is either gonna rise or drop throughout the league. Now, you care about this. You don't gotta care about this. That's all up to you. But I bet you'll be included in your evaluation for the end of the season. So this is something else that we will be bringing to you guys a couple weeks in between when we decide to show you guys and just want to show you what was new.
I mean, we'll see if we have some GMs that they just care about the stock being high. You know, maybe they like talking the big game, but they can't follow it up on the field. We will see what kind of coaches we have when the lights are on, and they might want to get a couple more interviews than wins on the field. So, of course, that's all to be seen. You know, that's all to be seen. But
so Manny, are you saying the commission's trying to bring politics into the league? Is that what you're saying right now?
Listen, man, sometimes when people get an invite to come onto the show, they just forget. They just forget what job one is. You know, they forget that, hey, man, you know, we're here to win football games. And unfortunately, sometimes GMs, they find themselves liking the limelight just a little too much.
Too much.
We'll see how many of those coaches and GMs we got in the league. But of course, that does bring us to our final segment of the show. You like it, you love it, you know it. It is NFL Games of the Week. Here in week 1, it feels fantastic to be able to tell you folks that. And listen, we got a banger tomorrow night. I mean, we've got a big time showdown, and honestly, a fantastic weekend of football. Hey, Dub, I
Come
got to
on
be
now.
honest with you. A
Come on now. Talk
fantastic
to me.
week of football. Here's the 3 that we got for you, folks, that you're going to key into. Off the bat, NFC East rivalry. Decades upon decades of hate, blood between each other. And right now, it has never been more under the microscope than between the Cowboys and the Eagles. Thursday night, 7 p.m., Thursday night football to get the season started. Man, you got to wonder what the reigning, defending world champions are going to do to their in-conference rival.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a tough one, but give me the star in Philly. Give me the star in Philly. I think fireworks start shooting, and it's not because the banner gets raised in Lincoln Field. No, sir. CD, George, Dak, throw Jaden Blue in there for good measure. Who cares? Give me the silver and blue to take down the Eagles on ring night.
Well, I'm gonna say what was really on your mind, before you could go against the grain because of who you are. But give me the Philadelphia. We're at home, season opener, off the Super Bowl, raising the banner. And by the way, Coach said we don't even care about that banner raise. We even know it was happening. We still gonna be. That means they locked in. That season don't matter to them. This season is all about what's coming, and that's W. So give me a Philadelphia Eagles to walk home after the game, confident with a win against the Dallas Cowboys. Let's do it.
Great
Let's
game
do it.
nonetheless. That one's going to be a fun one. We move on to the next one, and this has ties to the first one. In conference, the NFC North this time, though. And it is the Lions versus the Packers. The Lions making it to the NFC Championship game, not able to get the job done and get to the big game, but nonetheless, they've known the Packers. They've been bullied by the Packers for years and years and years.
LeBron.
However, Dan Campbell and that whole Lions team starting to feel themselves a little bit, starting to really get going, and they face the Green Bay Packers with their brand new acquisition all the way from the South in the Lone Star State in Micah Parsons. Now, it is worthy to note Micah Parsons does have a spinal injury currently. So, maybe want to check on the GM team, signing a guy and giving him $36 million guaranteed. No, sorry, $136 million guaranteed out of the 144 when he has to take epidural shots before every game. Nonetheless, though, that defense just got a whole lot scarier. We'll see if their backup corner or backup wide receiver turned now starting corner is really going to be able to hold on to Amon-Ra St. Brown. But nonetheless, that one at 3:25 Central Time. Blue versus green. Hey, I like the blue a lot. Go ahead and give me the Lions to take this one in week 1 and remind the Packers just how far away they are from getting to that NFC Championship game.
People just don't learn. You go against the grain and you get burned.
I promise you, this is not against the grain. I promise you, this is not against the grain at all.
I feel a little hate in a voice when he was talking. That just me though? Is that just you know what? Is that just me?
See what
No
happens,
shade. I don't
folks?
gotta say too much.
See what happens? You just get infected with that green just disease, you know? I mean, what's the color of your snot when you got an infection? Green. You know what I mean? So, I mean, yeah, no, hey, I like the pick a lot, man. I think you got yourself a really good pick.
No. Wait, what were you?
But I
Wait,
got to
you
take the
was
Lions
talking.
in this one. I got to take the Lions in this one. So
No, what was
we
you?
move on to a big time AFC matchup. Some might say this is the AFC Championship in week 1. But Ravens versus Bills. And that kicks off, that tops off our Sunday of football. And what a better, I don't know if a better game can finish off a weekend of football before we hit Monday night than Ravens versus Bills on Sunday. Now, of course, teams get better as the season goes on, right? You can't
Yeah,
just say this is the end all be all right here in week 1, but this is a
yeah.
pretty nice matchup to look at, especially when these two teams are pitted against each other to possibly get to the AFC Championship game for a shot at the Super Bowl. So, Ravens versus Bills, Lamar versus Josh Allen, both MVPs of this league, both dominant in their own equal ways. But for me, I got to go with the purple. I got to go with the Ravens in this one. I think Lamar
Mm.
and Derrick Henry, they just continue to grow, and they just continue to get better each and every week. I like the Ravens in this one.
Okay. I'm gonna go the other route against you one more time. You gonna learn to listen to me. Give me the Buffalo Bills to go and put a whooping. Hear me?
Whooping
Hear me? A whooping on the Baltimore Ravens. I'm talking
wow,
about 10 plus points.
10 plus
10 plus points. Anybody got that money line stuff? Go ahead and put it down. Buffalo Bills, 10 plus points.
on
Because let me tell
Sunday
you why.
night.
Lamar Jackson is 4-1 against Josh Allen.
Okay,
Lamar Jackson has been talked upon, brought up on in the MVP caliber conversation against Josh Allen year in and year out. Last year, they did indeed give it to Josh Allen. Mostly, if not everybody, was like, that was highway robbery. Lamar Jackson obviously won that MVP race once again. But with voters fatigue, they decided to give it to Josh Allen. And I don't know about you, but I'd be damn if somebody say I got the award and say I'm the best player in the league just because somebody has voters fatigue. Voters fatigue. You didn't see what I did last season? Okay. So that means I need to show you this season that it's undeniable and it's not even up for discussion. And I get to start it off against the guy that y'all think that I rob? Yeah. It's time to saddle up, ride in, and handle our business. Let's go ahead and change the trajectory of the conversation. Give me the Buffalo Bills, so go ahead and put a win.
all righty. Well, you're gonna have to just tune in on Sunday and Thursday, and of course, come back at the end of this one next week to be able to see just exactly if we were right or not on our picks. But nonetheless, that brings us to the end of the show. Hey, Dub, your parting words for the people.
Hey man, thank y'all for tuning in for another episode here on the show. You know, there's a lot of technical difficulties that was going on, but you bear with us. You made it here to the end with us, and we appreciate y'all, man. We just getting this stuff going, running up again. Season two, Crash Out League TV coming at y'all live at 5. You got your host, A Dub, and I got my co-host, Manny Boy, Manny Boy. Goddamn, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Go Pack Go.